Howdy. What a morning, eh? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Happy to see you all today. Let me know, video good, audio good. Let me know down in the live chat. We're going to get into it today. Bit of a morning, bit of red today. Obviously not the best morning I've had in a while, but hey, every day above the ground is a good day in my book. So we're going to get into it. Bit of a crazy morning today. Obviously, we see all types of stuff now in Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, and many more. We are seeing Bitcoin losing the Fibonacci golden zone, as I did tell you about in yesterday, or the stream from, I think, either yesterday or the day before yesterday, and in a short and on Instagram last night. I told you all to watch that level very closely. We have lost it now, so things do start to get a little bit wishy-washy from here. So, we got a good bit to talk about today. I will let you guys know. We are going to be doing some videos and streams today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. But your boy gets married on Saturday. So I'm heading out on Thursday. We're heading with all the guys. Connor, Kenny, my financial friend, Crypto Moses, Kate O'Neill. They're all going to be there. So you might get some pretty cool content from us this weekend. So we have a lot to do this week for sure. So if you all are having a good day, let me know in the chat. Bad day, let me know in the chat. Let's chit chat. Let's get into it. But before then, obviously, we're going to take a look at the market. I'm going to show you all what's going on. I'm going to talk about the next steps. We're going to go over all of it, okay? I'm going to give you a general overview of the market to get the week started. So if you are ready, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time here, if you do enjoy the content, of course. And let's get into it. Thank you for the congratulations, everyone. Much appreciated. I am excited and nervous at the same time. Just a big event, obviously, so feeling those nerves, but what can you do? What can you do? Another good day. And like I said, any day above the ground is a good day in my book. So let's get into it, okay? So looking at the crypto market, what we can see is that, again, Bitcoin is absolutely getting butchered. Bitcoin currently at 78.5K. It has now hit our breakdown target that I told you about. Ethereum's currently under 2,000. XRP is now right around that $2 mark. Solana is now below $130, now at 120. Cardano now under 70 cents. I mean, a lot of major support levels have absolutely been getting smashed. And the market's just falling. Obviously, I do believe that the reason why this market is falling is pure uncertainty. It's really what it comes down to, right? Everybody tries to quantify it in whatever ways in which they want, but the reality of it is that the market is following not because of technical analysis, not because of any of that. People are uncertain. What sort of impacts are tariffs going to have on the market? What sort of impact is that following inflation from tariffs going to have on the market? What sort of impact are all of these economic changes going to have? This political change is going to have? What is going to happen? No one knows, right? At the same time that we are seeing all of these political changes and economic changes and fiscal changes, we're also starting to see, of course, not great data from the economy. Jobs and unemployment and all of these things coming in a little bit worse than people were expecting. And as a result of all of these things combined, people are selling. Right? A lot of the selling pressure that we're seeing in the market right now is from institutions, but it's not the institutions themselves. It's the institutions' clients. You know, people say BlackRock sold this much Bitcoin today. Not really. BlackRock's clients wanted their money out, right? They feel like maybe they were bamboozled, that BlackRock gave them an investment that wasn't going to work and they're selling. And the reality of the market, the nature of all of this, guys, is that that's what's going to happen. The people who invested into Bitcoin through someone like BlackRock, right? The people who invested through institutions, they were going to sell the second it got ugly anyway. And so you can't get too freaked out about it. The reality is just that it just is what it is. People are uncertain. People are scared. People are selling. That's okay, guys. I feel like here in crypto, we get so locked into this mindset of that we are against them, right? Like if someone puts in my comments, they say, I'm selling all my crypto. Everyone just tears them to shreds. Stop doing that. The reality is that you don't, even if you don't agree with someone, it doesn't mean that what they're doing is wrong, right? Because you also don't know someone's situation. Someone might be selling their crypto because they don't know any better and they're emotional. That's kind of problematic. But they also might be selling their crypto because it's tax time. They got bills to pay. They got my wife just had to get a root canal out of nowhere, $8,000 because she hasn't had insurance for that specific insurance for a year. We had to pay $8,000 out of nowhere, right? You never know when things like that happen. And so if people are going to sell. If people are going to go, let them go. The reality of if we're going to be honest, between you and me, the less people in the space that there are to accumulate, the more time you and I have to get as much crypto as we can at lower prices before the inevitable happens. And is that a little dramatic? Sure, but it is the way that I see about it. So if people are selling, let them go. Let it do what it's going to do. I can't control that. You can't control that. I tell you guys all the time, I'm not a babysitter. I'm not your babysitter. If you're going to exit crypto, leave. If you're going to stay, stay. But what I can tell you is I'm not fucking leaving, right? If you've watched The Wolf of Wall Street, you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not going anywhere. I'm buying and I'm buying and I'm buying. And the lower crypto goes, the more I will buy. And then the funny part is, it's a very simple strategy. Buy during red times like this, sell during green times. But I'll buy and I'll buy throughout this bearish time. And then the market's going to pump one day because it will happen. And guess what people are going to say? Oh, you're so smart. No, I'm not. I'm not. It doesn't take a genius to buy when it's bad, sell when it's good. You know, everybody always wants to make money. Let's dissect something real quick. People always want to make money when they enter into crypto, right? They want to they want to make money when they enter crypto, right? You know, in order to make money in crypto, you have to buy something at a low price and then sell it at a higher price. So if given the opportunity to buy something at a lower price, that'll eventually lead to higher prices. This is kind of the whole point. It's kind of the whole point. It sucks. It's shitty. Don't get me wrong. Like, the reality of it is no one enjoys this. I don't wake up one morning and be like, oh, crypto's down 10%. What a day. No one likes this. This sucks. It's so aggravating. This bull run has been absolute shit when it comes to price growth, right? That is the truth. It's terrible. This is, when it comes to price performance, it's one of the worst bull markets in any asset class I've ever seen. That is the reality. But the realistic part is that it just is what it is. It is what it is. That's the plate of shit we've been handed. You're either going to eat it or you're not. But every time that the market's been bad, it's gotten good. And when it's been good, it's gotten bad. So this isn't shocking. Bitcoin went from $15,000, $16,000 to over $105,000. An asset as large as Bitcoin hit an 8 or 9x. Now the market's pulling back. This is what it is. So I'm buying. So anyway, that's where I'm at. And that's where I've been. And I know I sound like a broken record these days because I feel like I say this every stream, but I feel like it's important to remind you all. It's just the name of the game. And if you want to get mad and you want to be upset and you want to comment hate comments on the live stream, go ahead. I'm not stopping you. I ain't gonna ban you. I ain't gonna block you. Say what you gotta say. We all have a right for our own opinions, as long as your opinion's not crazy, right? But the reality of the beast is that we're all in this shit together. There's you, there's me, and this brick wall you've built between us. Right? We're all in this together. So we're all gonna either get kicked down the stairs together or we're gonna climb the stairs together. That's where the market's at, okay? Now, looking a little bit further. Okay. Looking at this a little further. If we actually head over, look, let me get crypto bubbles built. Let's get this pulled up. Boom, bubbles. Let's kind of dissect the way the market's moving right now. Okay. So right now, it's all out mayhem for the most part. Really nothing being spared, but you are starting to notice a lot of losses across your layer ones to some degree, right? You obviously see your ADAs, your AVAX, your Solanas, your SEIs, your renders. A lot of these ones are really catching us, catching a lot of losses. Now, the reason being is quite simple. People got excited about layer ones when World Liberty Financial started buying SEI. And then obviously there was a lot of layer one developmental growth through Trump and all the craziness, the theatrics, right? And so that's why you're starting to see a lot of layer ones falling. But the reality of it is that, I mean, everything's falling from Ondo to Maker or MKR, LDO, Barra, Cast, Tau. I mean, everything is down. But this has been a overall just dumpage, just drainage of liquidity. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is like an unnatural thing to happen. I don't agree. It sucks. No one likes it. It's not fun. But it's not unnatural. Let me make sure something's clear to you. Altcoins are extremely risky no matter what way you cut the pie, especially right now. Investing into an altcoin is like investing into a startup, into an early stage company. It is, 100,000 times more risky than buying something like Apple or Tesla with proven stock, proven records, right? Proven models. It's incredibly risky. And in a period like right now, when everyone is so scared and the stock market is crashing, of course, People are going to sell. So is it normal for a bull market? No. Is it common to see the altcoin market fall like this? No, definitely not. It's not a frequent thing. You don't see, I don't really think I've ever seen this before. And in this way at this time in the 4-year cycle, right? I've not really seen that before. But if you look at everything from a zoomed out perspective, with this much uncertainty from a macro environment, people are going to sell the most risky things first. And that's going to trigger something like this. So it's not much more complicated than that. It's just that. People are getting scared of what's happening in the economy, so they're selling the most risky things they have and they're putting it into the less risky things or just keeping it in cash. That's why we're here. And I think when you can look at the market from that perspective, it makes it feel better. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you guys can relate to that. But when I think about like, yeah, economy's uncertain, altcoins fall because people sell risky stuff, I feel like it makes me able to cope or digest what we're seeing easier. You know, people have gone down this rabbit hole of saying crypto's dead, it's never coming back, all of these things. I've heard it a million times. The reality of it is that crypto has lost some credibility. Don't get me wrong. But the reality is that crypto, SEI isn't crashing because SEI fundamentally has lost value. It's lost liquidity and the market has lost confidence. So I don't think crypto has lost its value. I think it's lost its liquidity and confidence. That's fine with me. So many people in the comment section today are going to say, crypto's never coming back. It's done forever. And I want to let you know one thing. More of you were saying that after the FTX crash. And I was here. Not only was I in the space, I was making content. And as a content creator, you get to truly get you can put your finger on the pulse of the market. And after FTX collapsed, everyone said that's one of the biggest exchanges in the world. They had Steph Curry, Tom Brady. They had everyone involved. The owner was a political lobbyist. Everyone, 80% of people are saying crypto cannot recover from this. We just lost all the credibility that we've been building for years. We've lost everything. People just look at crypto and think it's a scam. Here we are. So you can believe that the market's never coming back if you want. You can believe that if you want. And yeah, I understand. It's a different environment. In 2023, the economic landscape looked, or 2022, sorry, the economic landscape looked a little different. But the reality of the matter is we were on the brink of war in Israel and inflation was climbing. And so it was a little different, but the reality is it wasn't much different. We had economic hardship and social hardships. And then the biggest exchange collapses. And everyone said that it's over. We're never coming back. And look how time progresses. So you can believe that if you want, but you're wasting your time to try to convince me. And the majority of the people in my community, you're kind of wasting your time. Because we've been through a lot, right? And so believe that if you want. I'm not your babysitter. I'm not going to try to change your mind. I don't. I think crypto will come back. And I'm not going to shit talk you too much when it does come back. But the day will come. And I'll be here saying, hey, those of you who bought, congratulations. That's that. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 sec. Got to send a text to my wife because we have to go drop her off at the dentist in an hour. So going to be a little bit of a shorter stream today, but it's all good. So I got 1 hour with you all today, okay? I got 1 hour with you. So that's where I am. That's where I'm at. Now, hack. Get it together. Get it together. Of course I do. But anyway, that's where I am with this market. But let's kind of zoom in a little bit, okay? So in the title, I said, it is happening. Let me see if I can point at that and be cool. It's up there somewhere. It is happening. What is happening? Well, the crypto market right now is being led downwards by Bitcoin. Bitcoin is falling, so the whole market is falling. Very easy to understand why. Bitcoin is the safe bet. So if the safe bet's falling, the real risky bets are really going to fall. They're really going to fall, okay? And so, with that in mind, when you look at something like Bitcoin dominance, for example, it's the reason why it's flat, if not going up, especially on a day like today. Because the market's been falling proportionately, but it's really Bitcoin dominance is still in climbing, structure because people are safe sliding to Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin's collapse today has led people to be a little scared. Now, I don't want to get too far into the technicals. Hold on, give me 1 second. Sorry, we're getting some wedding planning stuff done. So I don't want to get too far in the technicals because we did do this weekend, okay? But let me recap you on what we've been looking at from a macro perspective with Bitcoin. In the last live stream, and hey, if you were in the live stream we did on Saturday where we talked about the Fibonacci's, can you comment I was here? Just so I know how many of you are actually watching so I can know if I can breeze through the summary or not, okay? Let me know. But in the live stream that I did on Saturday, we were talking about the fact that Bitcoin was dribbling. It was dribbling in between this key level of support and this key level of resistance and this key level of support. And what I told you all was there was resistance here. Okay, a lot of you were here. Very good, very good, very good. Welcome in. Happy to have you back. But there was resistance up here. You guys remember, right? Fibonacci resistance. And we had Fibonacci support. But what I told you is that the direction out of this range that we break will very likely dictate the direction that we go for what could be quite some time. And the sad truth that I have to tell you today is we did lose the bottom side of the range. Now, I have good news and I have bad news, okay? I have good news and I have bad news. I'm going to give you the bad news first. The bad news is that Bitcoin has just opened up the door for a possible fall all the way back to $70,000 for the first time since November. That door has now opened. The reason being is that historically, when you lose a golden zone of support, a Fibonacci extension can follow. What does that mean? Okay. Let me try to explain this without going on a big rant. Okay. So you remember how we were talking about in that live stream a couple days ago that the price of a crypto will go up and then it'll start going down? Let's see who remembers. When the price of a crypto starts going down, what's this called? Remind me. I need to make sure you guys are following me. What's this called? When we were going up and then we started coming back in the same direction that we came from. What is this called? Let's give it a second. It's a retracement. Fantastic. Very good. Very good. Good. Now, when a crypto is retracing, okay, it heads down to Fibonacci retracement levels, which again are just levels where you can expect the price of that crypto to bounce as it's going down. So as the price of a crypto is going down, there will be these things called Fibonacci levels, and that's where you can expect the price to bounce off of, right? Because if I was just looking at this, I'd have no idea when to expect some bounces. But when I go in and I add in my Fibonacci's, starting from the low to the high, because we're trying to find support, it gives me this golden zone of support. And this is where I can expect the price to try to bounce, right? Right. The problem is, though, do you remember when I told you all they either act as a wall or a door or a trampoline that might break? In the sense that when the price does hit that golden zone, it'll either bounce or it won't. If it bounces, we're looking good. If we fall through the trampoline and we go into that hole under the trampoline, things start to get a little risky. And what happens after you lose that support, you have about 3 steps. 3 things will generally happen in sequence. The first one is that you're very likely going to head to the same low that you used to create the range. What does that mean? So let's say this was the move. We came down here, we went from this low to this high, and we started going back down. What we're doing now that we've lost this golden zone is we're very likely going to go back to the same place that created this low. Do you see that? So we had the low, and when you lose this golden zone, it opens the door to go back to that low. One of my favorite trades that I take often during a bear market is I actually like to short that move. I like to short that move. I did it here because I've just been busy, to be honest, and I just don't feel comfortable trading right now. But what I like to do is I'll look for a back test, In the moment that we start falling again off that back test, I'll open up a short trade, usually anywhere from 5 to 10x leverage, with a stop loss set back in this golden zone, and I'll close it right when we hit this previous low, because it is that common. We're talking 80 to 90% of the time. You will go from the golden zone to the low, the range low, which is what it's called, the range low, in the moment that you do lose the golden zone. Now, that's where the next battle is going to happen. Generally speaking, you're not just going to lose through a golden or through a range low like that. You're not usually just going to go straight through this level. You're usually going to see a bit of a battle here. What happens after that, though, is that if the market fails to hold support here, it opens up the door for what's called Fibonacci extensions. And I'm not going to get super technical on this because it is a little complicated, but just understand. You can use Fibonacci extensions to measure how far past the range it might go. And that's why it's called an extension. Because I want you to think about something, especially if you're new to Fibonacci's. Let's take this example as an example. The moment that I started going up, right? I started going up here, and I started going back down. So I had made a move up, then I started going down. We know this is called a retracement. A retracement is just going back to the place that we came from. Okay? You guys understand that, right? From the place that we came from. The thing is, though, what happens once we go all the way back down lower than the place that we came from? Well, now we got to figure it out, right? Because the Fibonacci retracements teach us where the levels are between where we started and where we ended up, right? It shows us where these levels are. The problem is that if we go lower than where we started, how do we know how far it's going to go? Fibonacci extensions. Extensions can tell you how far past the range it might go. History says that when you lose a range low, in this instance right here, you lose this level, you're going to head to what's called a 1.272 Fibonacci extension and a 1.618 Fibonacci extension. And what that means is that you will generally fall first to the 1.272 Fibonacci extension. If you lose that one, you head to the 1.618. And crypto will almost always start trying to recover once it hits that 1.618. It can recover at any given point. It might bounce off of this one, it might bounce off of this one, it might bounce off of this one. But these are your 3 breakdown targets. And every time you lose one breakdown target, you head to the next, you head to the next, you head to the next. So this is how you can use Fibonacci extensions once you lose the golden zone. So let's take all this information that we've just gathered and let's shift this and bring this over to current price. What we can see is that Bitcoin lost the golden zone. I told you all, if Bitcoin loses the golden zone, we're very likely going to head back to where? $78,740. Why? Because history shows that when you lose the bottom side golden zone, you go back to the range low, which was right here. That's your first bounce target. And what do you know? Bitcoin's price went there, tried to recover, failed the back test on the daily candle, and immediately got rejected. And where did it immediately get rejected down to, guys? Call it a coincidence if you want. We came right back down to the range low. And matter of fact, if I draw a straight line, this green line, from the range low to where we are right now, it kissed it. Perfectly on the money. We did not bounce really until we hit that range low. So you guys, some people call Fibonacci's and technical analysis nonsense. The reality of it is this. In the stream from this weekend, we talked, and I told you, if we lose this golden zone, first stop 78.7. And that's where we just went to. So the bad news that I told you about before, the bad news is that it might go lower. Because remember, this is now just bounce zone number 1. There's 3. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. And every time that we lose one of these, we're going to head to the next one, likely head to the next one, to the next one. And so now that Bitcoin has lost the golden zone, it has now officially opened up the door for what could be a move back towards $70,000. That's bad news. We might fall back down to 70,000. Bitcoin might fall another 11%. The good news about it is, though, it's not guaranteed. The good news here is that we are now finally entering into what's called a range of liquidity. Okay? A range of liquidity. And what that means is that if we go to the daily charts, what you'll come to realize is that if Bitcoin's price does fall back to the 1.272, so $74 to $70,000, and we just get rid of everything, what you can see between $74 and $70,000 is it's going to have a hell of a chance here. It is now going to enter into this liquidity zone. We have all of this resistance, 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 all sitting right here, a ton of liquidity. And the likelihood is that although it's not guaranteed that Bitcoin will hold here and continue upwards, if it's going to have a real chance, if this market is going to give us a real chance of Bitcoin pushing back up to all-time highs, this level will give us, as best as we can, a chance. A previous all-time high, right? A macro zone of liquidity, a full Fibonacci extension to the downside, and at the same time that all of that is happening, an overextension into oversold territories on all of our indicators. This is what determines if we are in or not in a bull market. Everyone wonders whether or not I think we're in a bull market, and I say I think so still. Altcoins are not, but crypto as a whole, I still think there's a chance for recovery. Because Bitcoin still has an absolute unit of bullish support sitting right below it. And while Bitcoin is above this level, we're fine. I think we're good. The moment I see that this level isn't going to hold, that Bitcoin's price just cannot hold it, no matter what happens, the selling pressure is too high, that's when I will start to be like, yep, this is not good. We might have a year or two of red in us. So my thought process is, yes, this sucks, and yes, this is bad, but Bitcoin, on a good note, has an opportunity. It has a chance. It has a chance to use these levels as use these resistance levels now as support, hold the support, and try to push back upwards. What's going to cause this? I don't know. You never know until it's too late. But it could. So I don't have great news for you today. I don't really have a great bullish outlook for you today. The reality is that at any given point, Bitcoin, the reality is that at any given point, Bitcoin might just capitulate. $74,000, $70,000, continue falling, dragging the rest of the market down. That's not guaranteed, right? It's not guaranteed because we are at these extension levels. We're at our bounce zones, right? We have 77, we have this level, right? 78, we have 74, we have 70. At any point, Bitcoin can just bounce off of any of these zones. So I'm not going to say for sure that Bitcoin's going to fall down here, but there is a pretty decent size chance it does, right? Maybe we're already all the way up to a coin flip at this point, a 50-50. So just be aware and ready that might happen. That might happen. There's no guarantees. They might come out today and say they're making a change with fiscal policy and then the market takes off. I don't think it's super likely, but they could. So I'm not selling everything right now. I'm not exiting the market right now. I'm just mentally preparing for the fact that we might have worse in front of us. It might get a little bit worse. So what do I do? What do I do? What do I do in a moment like this? Set a plan. So let's recap what we know. Bitcoin's now lost the golden zone, and that opens up the door for a move to what could be $70,000 based on your Fibonacci extensions and based off historical data, right? But Bitcoin is already reaching some of what are called bounce zones, which are these three levels that at any given point might try to bounce Bitcoin's price back to the upside. So if I'm not going to sell my crypto right here, what do I do? What do you guys think? What do you think I'm about to do? What do you think I'm about to say? I would assume some of you know, but I'd like to put this up for a bit of a quiz. Knowing that the door is open to the bottom side, but at any given point off one of these three levels, we could bounce at any given moment. What do you think I'm gonna do? Okay, Courtney gets it. DCA down, okay. DCA, buy a little. Oh, Oria gets it. Right? Buying on these levels, you guys are understanding. But yeah, I am going to buy. And you guys are getting it now. I am going to buy. Sure. There, that's what I wanted. Fantastic. Nitsu, fantastic. Good job. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to set buy orders in at every one of these bounce zones. And the lower the bounce zone is, the bigger the purchase I'm going to do. Now, let me make a very clear thing here, right? I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but let me make something very clear for you all. I am not buying a lot. Not right now. The reason being is because the macroeconomic landscape doesn't look fantastic. I took some profits recently and in December, and we might have a bear market in front of us. So I'm not going to dump all of my cash in, but enough that if the market does bounce here, it will be impactful. The gains that I will see from purchases here will be impactful. Okay, it will be impactful. So, how am I going to do that? Well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to set in some buy orders at each one of these levels. I'm going to buy a little bit at 78.7 thousand right now, right? Which I'm going to do on stream here. I'm going to do a little bit more at 74,750 and a little bit more at $70,000. And listen, we might not hit these levels. It might just bounce. Okay? It might. But I'm just going to plan it anyway. And once we come down, or if we come down to 70,000, I'm then going to use that as the point in which I decide what to do. Okay? Because what Bitcoin's price does, once we, if once we come down to these levels, will tell me everything I need to know. If Bitcoin's price holds really well and starts ascending, good sign. But if Bitcoin's price starts dumping, I'm going to need to reassess because we're probably in a bear market for sure. And now I need to plan some much lower, but I'm not buying every 4,000. I might be buying every $10,000 down it goes, right? And so I'm going to buy each one of these bounce zones on the way to 70K. And then once we hit, or if we hit 70K, decide what to do from there. I'm going to analyze the market. I'm going to analyze the realm of probabilities. And then I'll decide what my next move is. Then I'll decide my next move from there. That's my plan. So do you see how I am just dollar cost averaging? And if you want it to be very simple, it can be. Just buy the red days. I'm taking a simple idea, a concept of dollar cost averaging, and expanding into it just a little bit to give myself a little bit more of an edge. Just a tiny bit. Because my goal is to maximize gains with the less stress, as little stress as possible. That's kind of my goal as an investor. And so what I do is I take my Fibonacci extensions, I take my indicators and tools, and I use those tools to give me ideal areas to dollar cost average. Now, if you just want to normally dollar cost average, just buy a little bit every Wednesday, go ahead. Praise be to you. But historical data that I've collected, at least, has shown strategic dollar cost averaging is more impactful and effective if done correctly than non-strategic. And that's why I am doing this. Okay. So my plan is to layer out these three buy zones, 78.4, 74.7, and 70. And if/when Bitcoin's price comes down to each one, I'll buy a little bit more, and a little bit more. And that's the plan. So now that you've seen the plan, let me start implementing. So what I'm actually going to do while we're getting close to 70K, which is a very important moment, is I'm actually going to peel back my purchases on altcoins just until I can get an understanding of what's happening in the market. I'm actually right now just going to safe flight to Bitcoin for a couple of days because listen, guys, I got a wedding this weekend. I got a whole bunch of people coming into town. My wife has to have a root canal today and our wedding is in 4 days. It's stressful. And I don't want to be stressed. And I don't want to have to look at every single altcoin in the market. So what I'm going to do while I'm stressed and a little bit, I got stuff to do and I'm a little bit concerned about what's happening, is I'm going to safe flight to Bitcoin. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to the beginner portfolio and I'm going to make my first buy-in. So as many of you know, we created a beginner portfolio. I told you all that my reasoning for creating a beginner portfolio was simply that I wanted to show you that even if you buy crypto at the very top of the bull market, which we were at the top of the bull market, maybe not the forever top, but a top. I wanted to show you that even if you buy crypto at the top, if you give it enough patience and strategy, you can make money. And so we created a portfolio that was worth $10,000. And I said, look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start buying into this. I'm going to use this $10,000 and I'm going to start buying crypto. And I'm probably going to go negative when the bear market starts. I might spend a year or two in the negative. But my persistence will show you that you can make money over time, even if you buy at the top. Now, we are a little negative, but I told you it's probably going to happen. And that's totally okay. But let me show you how, even though I'm negative, I'll take some of my cash and I'm going in, baby. But today, I'm only going into Bitcoin just because I have a lot going on I don't have a ton of time to look at all these things, right? So I'm just buy a little bit of, I'm going to buy a little bit of Bitcoin. So let's go in. Let's buy a little. Let's buy a little bit, shall we? So I'm going to go in my beginner portfolio. And Brandon, no, it's Jacob. Jacob, go into my portfolio. Give me a purchase on Bitcoin anywhere below $78,750. You should be able to catch it because I know you have it pulled up. And I'm going to go in. I'm going to set that in. Okay. So let's go in Bitcoin. Buy. Let me give it a guess. Boom. Boom. So I'm going to buy. Let me assess this. I have $3,000 invested, $6,500 worth of cash left, and I'm down about 4.8%. The total portfolio is down about 4.8%, $480. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to increase my Bitcoin position by about 20%. It's a pretty sizable purchase, but we are at bounce zone number one. So I'm going to go in and put about $350 roughly into Bitcoin right here, right now. So Jacob, get that going. Give me a 350 under 70. Oh, we pumped a little bit. Give me it 78, 780, somewhere around there. Then I'll do 78, 780 on my side here. Boom, boom. So we're going to go in. We're going to buy some Bitcoin. Boom. 78, 728 is what I'm going to put here, but it's fine. Do that purchase. Now, Jacob, I want you to trigger the same exact scale purchase in my about half of that, proportionate to my portfolio size in my main portfolio as well. So, guys, I'm buying not only in the beginner portfolio, in my real portfolio as well. My big, it's real money. It sucks that it's down, but my big portfolio, my Tyler Hill portfolio, I'm buying Bitcoin today. Now, I know what some of you are going to think. Well, Tyler, what if Bitcoin falls? Like, what if it does go to 70K? Oh, well. What if it doesn't? Right? Like, that's just kind of my thought process. And that's why I DCA. It might. It might not. It's not my job. It's not my job to try to perfectly predict what the market's going to do. It's my job to position myself into areas that I can capitalize on from an opportune perspective. And what I mean by that is it's not my job to time the bottom. It's my job to be buying enough and frequent enough that when the bottom is there, I will have bought it. I'm going to say this again. Say this again. It's not my job to try to time the bottom. It's my job to put myself in a position, or simply put, dollar cost average enough that when the bottom is in, I will have bought in it or near it. It's the best that I can do. Sure, I can use indicators and technicals to help assist me with that, but the reality of it is it's an educated guess at best. So I just DCA and pray, right? Just let it play out. So I'm only focused on Bitcoin today because Bitcoin is the one that's about to make the decision. Do we hold the bounce zone or do we not? And that alone is going to impact the rest of the market, because understand this. The altcoins are not in control on any level. Okay? Why? The macro environment, right? The big picture, what's happening in the United States economy is the reason why assets are falling. Assets falling makes Bitcoin fall because people look at Bitcoin as more risky than stocks. That's fine. It is. Then when people sell Bitcoin, it makes altcoins fall because people look at Bitcoin as safer than altcoins. Therefore, altcoins are not in control at all. They just fall because everything else is falling, right? And so my thought process is, why would I really focus too deeply on altcoins right now? Why would I go look at Solana and try to make a prediction from a technical perspective? Sure, I can look at it for fun. I can look at it to get just a general idea of what's happening with Solana. But the reality here, if it's all under the control of the economy and Bitcoin, am I just wasting my time? Probably so. It's probably best to just focus on Bitcoin if you care from a macro perspective. Now, if you're trading, it's a different story. Because what Solana would do if Bitcoin falls is dependent on Solana, right? So if Solana is in between two macro support levels and then Bitcoin loses its support level, Solana is going to go from that one support level to the next. So you need to know where that next support level is, of course. And so it's important for you to do technicals on, technical analysis and even fundamental analysis on Solana if you're trading specifically Solana. But if you're just looking at a macro portfolio as a whole, I think the best thing to do is just focus on Bitcoin, at least for now. Now, that's my plan. That's my strategy. That's what I'm doing. Now I got to do two things. You guys know, got to do two things real quick. Give me 1 second. I don't know what that was. Sorry, guys. I think I might have froze for a second. Are we good? All right, I think we're good. So that's what I'm going to do. Sorry, my computer froze and it kind of made me lose my train of thought there. So yeah, I got to do two things real quick. The first thing I'm going to do is let me go update my cash position. Okay. I want to make sure I don't forget to do this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. So I need to sell some of that. So my portfolio is rebalanced. Okay. So this is what my beginner portfolio looks like right now. 23% Bitcoin, 65% cash, less than 5% on everything else. I think this is what a good portfolio for a bear market, if that's what we're in, would look like. Okay. Okay. That's what I'm doing. Now, I got to go let the Discord server know. You guys know I keep them updated on everything. Let me get rid of this. Just give me 30 seconds to just kind of get this going because you guys know I will forget. Boom, boom, clear off this, clear off this, clear off this. Boom, bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. Let me go know. Let me let them know what I'm doing real quick. Everyone, just did a DCA on Bitcoin in my beginner and main portfolio as it is now at bounce level 1. Okay. Boom. I keep them updated on everything. Now, to shamelessly show for a second, if you have been enjoying my thought process and how I work, I keep them all updated over in the school on all of this. Every time I buy, I sell, I have thoughts, I have ideas. Everything that I think goes into this school. You can get that from me, Connor Kinney, Aaron Bennett, a whole bunch of other coaches. You get courses, classes, live streams, workshops. I mean, you get more value from this school than I've ever seen before. So head to the link down below if you do want to check it out. But our goal and our mission at the school is very simple. We take crypto investors like yourself. We give you value to help you refine strategies because strategies create gains. And I'm not talking about little gains, I'm talking about big gains. Even on days like today, big gains. So if that's something you're interested in, the link is down below. You can go check that out here. Okay, there's over 2,000 members that are in the school. Feel free to check that out. And if you don't want to spend any money because the market's shit, I don't blame you. There's 2 links down below. One to a beginner's guide, completely for free, over 10 to 15 pages worth of value that you can get to learn how crypto works. Okay, it's going to go over what crypto is, how it works, why it's important, all that. It's a link down below. Go download that. It's for free. Go link down below. And if you are a little more experienced, we have a Beyond the Basics guide. And this is a guide that goes a little bit more into detail. It's a little bit more complex. We talk about Fibonacci's and technicals and indicators and much more. So if you want a good head start while the market's falling and everyone else is quitting, go download these 2 free guides and start learning. And if you feel ready afterwards to come join the school and start trying to make like real gains, that link is available down there for you as well. So with that in mind, ask me some questions, okay? I have to get out of here in about 20 or 30 minutes. And so what I want to do is we're going to take a quick look at some of the fundamentals. I'm going to just go over, I haven't had a chance to look at the fundamentals today. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at liquidation map. I'm going to go look at greed index. I'm going to go look at all of that. And while I'm looking at that, ask some questions and I'll spend 20 minutes answering them. Then we're going to jump off. Bit of a shorter stream today, but my wife does need to go get this root canal. So we're going to go get that done. Okay. All right. What's up, Red? How's it going? Welcome back. Okay. Let's get into this. Let's go see what's happening on CoinGlass. And you guys can get a little bit of insight how I look at this market, right? Like what is my brain going through when I'm trying to analyze how the market's performing that day? That's what I'd like to get for you guys to get out of this. That's what I'd like you to get out of this, okay? So I always start on liquidation maps because I want to see what people are doing. So obviously 30-day is ridiculous. I mean, I don't love the fact that we are seeing topside liquidations falling. That is a little bit spooky, but I would assume that is only that is only because it's showing 95,000. I would assume around 100,000 or so there's way more liquidations. So the market obviously still has nearly 700 million in liquidations that'll happen around 76K. So us falling to 76K wouldn't shock me in the slightest. Just to finish smashing down these traders. Fear and greed on CoinMarketCap is sitting at A 17. It's pretty low. Not as low as we were a couple days ago, but it is pretty damn low. I wonder what it is over on CoinGlass. Let's see if it's representing the same thing. CoinGlass is showing us a 20. I don't know if this is updated or not, but that is extreme fear. We haven't been in extreme fear too much. The craziest thing is that we've only been in extreme greed 11% of the time. The type of moment that we're in right now is rare. The type of moment we're in right now is rare, right? We're only here 11% of the time, and that's where we are right now. But history shows that buying during extreme fear moments, like this one, right near the bottom, this one, right near the middle point, this one near the bottom, right? All these moments, history has showed that if you buy while we're in extreme fear, the likelihood of you making gains over an extended period of time go up crazy. It's usually not fast, right? We can stay in extreme fear for a couple months or a while, right? Look how long we stayed there. Look how long we stayed there. I mean, we can stay here for a while. But I do like the fact that we are still sat in extreme fear while we're seeing all of these liquidations building. Because of what it tells me is that everyone's scared and everyone's getting nervous and people are getting confident the market's going to go down. And history says that when everyone's confident the market's going to go down and everyone's fearful, the market can rocket at any moment, go and liquidate these traders. So it does look pretty good to me. I do think we're in an accumulation period now. I think we're in an accumulation period now. Looking at, let's go to visual screener. Let's see what people are doing. I would assume everyone's closing down their long trades, opening short trades. Yeah, for the most part. Let's go to the 24 hours. Pretty split, but definitely more people closing their long trades and entering on short trades. So a lot of people are betting that this market's going to go down, and that does support my thesis that we're in an accumulation period. I buy the most in crypto when everyone's selling it or shorting it, scared that it's going to go down. That's what I do. And outside of a few outliers, right, Rare, Sonic, and some of these ones, most people think most cryptos are going to go down. And that's the reason why I'm confident to be doing some buying here. Liquidation heat map should give me a little bit more of a perspective on some of those higher up liquidation levels. Let's go to 6 month. No, still a decent amount here, but this is only Binance. I wish I had a more macro one. But I mean, still a decent amount, right? Still a decent amount around some of these lower levels. And so again, you very well might continue back down towards that 70K level, go for those liquidations. So that's why you don't accumulate too much. Although we are in an accumulative season and most indicators are down, your RSI is down, visual screener shows everyone shorting the market, liquidation map balanced towards the upside, everybody thinking the market's going to go down. It might keep going a little bit further while there are liquidations to be had, but eventually there won't. And eventually these ones will be much more juicy. And that's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for, right? That's the type of move we're looking for. So not doing a ton of big accumulation right now. Big accumulation, but some accumulation for sure. Bigger, more accumulation the lower that we get. And then the last thing that I like to look at just to kind of confirm or deny my thesis is the RSI heat map, in which we can see everything is now nosedived for the most part. I mean, even Bitcoin is now nearly in the weak zone on the weekly, which is very, very rare. Almost never happens. So this just further, confirms my thought that we are in an accumulation phase. This is the time to be accumulating slowly and steadily and systematically, strategically, and letting this all play out. Could go lower, might go lower, honestly, especially considering we have so much liquidity that's still down, around 74, 70K. So we very well might continue to go lower, but now is the time to be DCAing, in my opinion. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Clearly, I did it on stream with you all here. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I know a lot of people want exacts, right? Everybody wants people to tell them, hey, when are we going to stop dumping? Guys, no one knows. No one knows. But remember, and I've said this I'm going to say this for the third time. Your goal, or my goal, is to not time the bottom. Because I can't. You can't, I can't, no one can. We can get lucky, but we can't actually. So my goal is to not try to time the bottom. My goal is to dollar cost average enough that when the bottom is in, I will have bought in it or near it. So that means I have to keep some cash on the side. I can't go all in at any given point. I don't want to lose all my money leverage trading. I don't want to do any of those things. Toss some cash in. The lower we go, the more I throw. And the more signs and signals we get that we're bottoming, the more I'll throw in. Because I'm positioning myself for opportunity. That's called luck. People tell me all the time, Tyler, you're so lucky you bought Solana at $10. Ain't no damn luck involved. I was buying Solana at $10, $11, $12, $13, $14 because everyone was sure that it was over. It was never coming back. It could never recover. And I knew I would never be able to time the bottom, but I was buying in frequent amounts the lower we got, and the more those bottom signals started going off, The more I bought. Why? Because I needed to position myself for the opportunity that the bottom was in. That's called luck. Okay. That's called luck. So that's where we are. That's what's happening. That's why it's so important. What do you do now? How do you take what I've said in this stream and how do you move forward with it? Well, the first thing that you need to do, and I'm going to shill, you need to go download the free guides and stop BSing. Go download the guides. If you downloaded one of these two guides today, please let me know and say I did, so I know you did. But the second thing that you need to do is you need to go in and you need to mark out these levels. Just trust me. It's going to be important to watch them, okay? You need to go mark out 78.7, 74.7, and 69.9. These are very, very, very important levels of support. These sort of extension levels are going to be some driving parts, some driving pieces, driving elements of when Bitcoin may or may not bounce. And look, there is a reality that we might fall below 78.4. We might get halfway between this one and then work ourselves back up and then we start to recover, right? So I'm not going to sit here and say for sure that if you lose 78.7 that you're for sure going to go to 74. But history says and historical data shows that it is more likely and you just need to be prepared for it. So what I want you to do is I want you to go down and I want you to plot out these levels. And I want you to watch them like a hawk. Because these three are going to be the decider. Because if Bitcoin can't hold support on top of one of these three, guys, I think we got a pretty big problem. I think we might have a pretty big problem. And we'll address that and we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Okay. Now, what I'm about to say only applies to the people who have been in this market for a while, who know what they're doing, they know how to trade, they know how to risk manage, they know how to use leverage. I am going to be re-entering leverage trades very soon. I'm getting more and more and more confident. Okay, I'm getting more and more confident. I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. And so I'm going to kind of start to take my hands from the no leverage trades allowed. I'm going to soon. I need to see some setups. I need to go get married. I need to get back. I need to stare at the charts all day, but I will be soon. I know some of you asked me, Tyler, when are you going to leverage trade again? Not yet, but I'm getting there. We're getting much further away from the HMZ. I'm getting there. So just give me time. I'll be back. Okay. So that's where we at. So I want you guys to give me a couple questions. I have about roughly 15 minutes, 10 minutes roughly. Give me some questions. I'd love to answer them. While they're answering their questions, for those of you who are leverage trading, I will let you know. If you head to the link down below, only if you're experienced, go sign up for BTCC. They'll give you a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits between $500 and $100,000. This means if you deposit $10,000, they'll give you $1,000 back on the spot to start trading with, and whatever profit you make from that $1,000 is yours to keep. You can get up to tens of thousands of dollars per user, obviously, if you sign up and trade a lot of money. So I'm an affiliate of theirs. I generate affiliate commission. This is widely known. The link is down in the description below. For only experienced traders, if you are new, leave that alone like it's the plague. Don't touch it, okay? The second thing that I want you guys to do while they're leaving some questions in the chat is go follow me. I've been doing a lot more behind the scenes stuff over on Instagram. So if you are interested in that type of thing, I do post like what I'm doing, updates, just, general stuff, letting people know. I told you guys I was going to go live at 12 o'clock, get your water in or get banned, right? So feel free to go follow me on Instagram. We have a bunch of content going out there, educational, motivational, and much more, news updates, all that good stuff. So go check all those things out at Tyler Hill YT. It's linked below. And then secondly, go follow me on Twitter at Tyler Hill YT. That is where I do post a bunch of more analysis-based content. So go follow me on there. Go check out the school down below if you want to start growing in this space. But if anything, it's free. Just go download these damn guides. Go get it. It's like 30 pages worth of knowledge. Go get it. Go get it. Let's answer some questions. Do I have to be an American citizen? No. I wasn't shocked at the Ankalaev win, but I was shocked at how Alex didn't look very great. Alex was gun shy. Alex Pereira was gun shy more than I've ever seen before, and it was just weird. Ankalaev fought like he always fights. He looked just as good as he always. He's good, but he didn't look any better than normal. I DCA everything. I'm only DCAing Bitcoin today, but I DCA all my positions. I'm super out of touch with NFTs, so you guys might need to let me know. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm trying to read charts more accurately. What are your 3 to 5 most reliable indicators? MACD, RSI, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci's. I want to save this one for a good one. Volume. RSI, MACD, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci's, volume. I basically only use those 5. Considering global liquidity is on the rise, do you think we're going to see new all-time highs within the next 3 to 4 months? Personally, I feel like it's pretty damn likely to see. It's possible, but we don't have retail. We don't have retail, and retail does not have money. Without them having money, we've seen how far institutions can push this, but they can't push it that far without retail. It's a joint effort. So, yeah, that's pretty normal. It's happened to me in fights before as well. I am going to be at Bitcoin Vegas. Please don't kidnap me. All right. Watching from Shreveport, do you think any more news will come from the summit that could be a catalyst? No. We're not going to get any more news from the summit, but things are going to happen as a result of what happened at the summit that will cause catalyst, yes. We won't know, but it will. CME gap filled at 878K. Did it? Let me know. Is everything crashing? What's happening? People freaking out or what? Yeah, it's ugly. That's for sure. When do you think these fears will be slowed and people start to turn sentiment? It shouldn't take long. The news cycle is only 1 week. So a week or 2 of this and then a lot of boringness wouldn't shock me. Your site doesn't accept international phone numbers. Just put a random phone number. Fuck it. Do you recommend selling my soul and moving to Bitcoin? I'm not doing that. I'm not selling anything right now, but I am restructuring my purchases. So instead of me selling Solana for Bitcoin, I'm just buying more Bitcoin the next time I buy, if that makes sense. So I usually would buy some Bitcoin and some Solana, but instead of buying more Solana, I'll just buy more Bitcoin. It's my plan. That's how I do it. Oh, what in the world? Shout out to all the Louisianimals in here. I got devices ringing off with level alerts all over the house. That's how it goes. How much do you think? It's hard to tell. Alex Becker, Mike said all those that rallied against the altcoin reserve will be the ones getting rich. Yeah, probably so. I do own some render, but I'm not too excited about it right now. So maybe I can still sell on a high. Do you look at liquidation heat maps as an indicator? Yeah, I did. I didn't think about, like, I look at liquidation heat maps as more of a fundamental indicator more than a technical indicator, but that is the most reliable indicator on earth, in my opinion. Hearing a lot about them looking at the M2 money flow. Can you explain a bit more in detail, please? So M2 money supply is just kind of a way to measure global liquidity. And obviously the crypto market relies on liquidity. So the more money that there is out there, the better that the market should do technically. But the problem is that the M2 money supply thesis is very, very popular now. Everyone's talking about it. And history shows that when everyone starts talking about a narrative, its reliability diminishes like substantially. So I'm not really looking at it or thinking about it too much. No one knows how low it can crash, friend. I go to Lafayette to get my crawfish. You understand the real. You understand. If you know, you know. It shows he has about 3.5% of his portfolio Solana, so he's not worried about it. That's just my beginner portfolio. My main portfolio is much closer to 20% or so. But I'm not concerned. I don't care. I bought Solana low, sold a lot of it high. Whatever it does in between, we'll just figure it out. If it goes lower, I'll buy. If it goes higher, I'll sell. Easy. I'm not worried about anything. What's the point? It's going to fall. Listen, somebody gave me a story one time that I thought was very cool. They said, look, if you're going to get on an airplane and that airplane's going to crash, would you rather go through that once or twice? I thought it was the dumbest question I ever heard in my life. Right? Like, if you're going to get on an airplane and it's going to crash, would you rather go through that once or twice? Once. I can't control it. So I'd rather just go through it one time. And then he told me, so why are you consistently thinking about and putting yourself through the emotions of that airplane crashing prior to ever even getting on the airplane? Because the reality of it is that we're all just beings facing emotions. And if you're constantly thinking it's going to go down and imagining it going down, you're putting yourself through it without it even happening. So if it does happen, now you've gone through it multiple times. So what are you stressing about? If it's going to go down, it's going to go down. There's nothing you can do about it. So let it. Why put yourself through all that now if it might or might not happen? So when I look at crypto, it's like, all right, I'm going to be a little upset and annoyed and frustrated if we do see the crypto market crash. I ain't putting myself through it if it don't happen. So if it crashes, it crashes. I'll go through that when the time comes. If it crashes more, right? The bear market's here. I'll go through that when when it's confirmed. Till then, hanging out. What can I do? I can't stop it. So what can I do? Tyler Hill versus Alex Becker. I'm open to it. I've told the CFL that I'm ready. If they want it, I'm down. Crypto Fear and Greed Index. So would people consider this the first bull run without an altcoin season? No, not really. This is just the first bull run since the 2021 bull run. Because the reality is like what we saw in 2016, 17, 18, 19, we didn't see any gigantic altcoin season where every single altcoin that you could find was exploding. That's not what happened. That people can frame it like that, but that's not what happened. Some did very well, some didn't. And what I saw from this cycle is a muted version of that, right? Where some did very well and some did all right. We are in the institution cycle. My hot take is that this bull market never would have happened if institutions didn't come in. I think if institutions didn't enter into crypto, we would still be in the bear market of 2022. That's my hot take, but people aren't ready for that conversation. Okay. Views on crypto and NFTs. Do you think his prediction strategy have been on point, or do you feel he's sometimes overhyped? Alex just says shit. I mean, I really respect Alex, especially what he's done from a business perspective, but Alex just says the same thing over and over and over again for the most part, which I respect. But he does kind of flip-flop a lot with how he feels. Like sometimes he'll be like, everything's going up, buy everything, and then it's like, oh no, we're gonna crash. And it's just kind of, I like people who set a thesis and stick to it. And adapt it if need be. Don't adapt it based off short-term sentiment. My theory's not changed. I've had the same theory for a very long time. Hey, yep, I think Bitcoin is going to continue to go higher, but the further we go that it doesn't, and the worse that the economy gets, the harder it's going to be. And while we don't have retail, the altcoin market's not really going to go anywhere. We're going to need to see the macro environment get a little bit easier. People have more money, and then we'll see the altcoin market, and the crypto market rally. But until then, it's going to be hard. So we might enter into a bear market until that happens, or we might just go a little bit flat. But I do think the day will come that Bitcoin will return again. Very simple stuff. I've not changed that for like over a year now, right? And I just like when people stick to their strategy. Tyler Hill teaching everyone stoicism now. Oh, geez. No, not me. You and your free course got me to invest $12K into the beginning of February's dip. Hope this manipulation market is over soon and we see some good profits rising next year. Currently at 8K, though. Shout out to you. Hey, name of the game. Curious, what did you buy? Yeah, poor Bobby Green, my word. Quite the spicy take, but it has validity. Yeah, I mean, hard for people to convince me otherwise, honestly. All right, I'm going to come up to the top here. Okay. Can't control the market, but you can't control those emotions. You get it. Well, look, guys, I know it's a bit of a short stream today. I do like to get on stream for an hour or two at a time, but I do have some stuff to knock out, and I do have some more content that's coming for you all today, a bunch of shorts, a bunch of Instagram posts, Twitter posts, all that good stuff, maybe even a full video. So I hope you guys do check out the rest of the content. Before I do log off, let me just run you through the mill one more time. If you do want 2 free guides, over 30 pages of free content. Head to the link down below and go download these 2 guides. If you want even more than that, you want courses and coaching, classes, live streams, workshops, you want access to what I'm doing, what I'm buying, what I'm selling, what I'm thinking, what I'm eating, head to the link down below. You can sign up for the school as little as $5 a month and you have a money back guarantee, meaning you'll get your money back no matter what. You ask, you get it, no problem. Lastly, if you are an experienced trader who knows what they're doing, go get that 10% bonus. I mean, again, this is tens of thousands of dollars per person. Don't waste it, especially if you trade high leverage or high amounts. Go capitalize on that. Obviously, it's easy money. And then a couple of things, go follow me on Twitter at Tyler Hill YT, and on Instagram at Tyler Hill YT_ if you do want extra content from me on a day-to-day basis. But the big moral of the story is here, listen, yeah, it might continue to fall, but I'm dollar cost averaging, and I'll buy more the lower it goes. And at the end of the day, that's the best that I can do. And it's the best that we can do. The bull market and the bear market is not complicated. You buy low and you sell high, and this is an opportunity to buy low. So either do or don't, not up to me, but history shows it works out. So I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. And I can't wait to see you all in the next one. See you, everybody.